of over our mouths, but it's so exciting. So we're going to tell you a little bit about Mardi Gras today. So I'm going to start with just a couple of fun facts. One of the things is that the Mardi Gras celebration actually starts on January 6th, which is considered 12th night. And everybody decorates their houses at that time. So they go right from their Christmas decorations into their Mardi Gras decorations. And their Mardi Gras decorations are the beautiful colors that you see here with our greens and our purples and our golds. So if you can imagine, all of the houses have that beautiful, beautiful decoration going on. So Mardi Gras started back, the first one was on February 24th, 1857. So it has been around for a really, really long time. And during the course of Mardi Gras, there are about 50 parades that happen, and thousands of floats, and like 600 marching bands, and just hundreds of thousands of people who participate in it. And exciting enough, today we have somebody with us who has participated in the floats and the parades, and we're going to bring her on in a little bit to tell you a little bit about her experience. But we're going to start with the crafts that we sent home with you. Now we're also going to read a book, because you know we are librarians, we like to read our books. We're going to all read from one that's about a little girl and her first experience with Mardi Gras. Now this is another one that has lots of words on a page, so we're going to read it like this, and then we'll show you the pictures, okay? All right, so we are going to start with Miss Rosalie, who is going to tell us a little bit about our king cake.
All right, good morning. So here's our book. It's called Mimi's First Mardi Gras. Okay. On 12th night, Mimi's parents gave a party. The highlight of the evening was the cutting of a very special cake called a king cake. Shaped like a huge ring, the cake was iced in the Mardi Gras colors of purple, green, and gold. Hidden inside one of the slices of the cake was a tiny baby doll, and whoever got the slice with the baby was expected to give the next king cake party. The parties continued until Mardi Gras Day. Every time Mimi went to a king cake party, she knew that Mardi Gras was getting closer and closer. All right, well, let's see how we're going to do our own little king cake experience. So just like Mimi shared in the book, the king cake is an oval shape, and they put the sugar on there, and there's going to be a little baby doll inside the cake. And if you get that baby doll, then you make the next cake and the next party. So in your kit, you have a cupcake, you'll have a little thing of frosting, and you also have some fun sugars in the Mardi Gras colors and decorations. Oh, don't forget, we got a little baby. All right, so again, you're gonna get some frosting. I like to use a spoon or a knife and just kind of spread it on my cupcake. There we go. And I don't want to forget my baby. I'm gonna kind of stick my baby in there a little bit. Now my cupcake is kind of like 1 or 2 bites, so I know the baby's in my cupcake. So they're sticking out. All right, so I'm gonna take a pinch and kind of just sprinkle on. You can do a little, you can do a lot. And my Mardi Gras mask design. So there you are, there's your own little mini king cake. Okay, let's see who is next. Miss Suzanne, here she comes.
Hello, hello everybody. Thank you for coming to our Mardi Gras party. We're gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna read to you a little bit about the masks. So you guys all got in your kits, you got some masks and some feathers and some jewels, and we're gonna do that craft next, but first let me read to you about it. I'm gonna read like this because like Miss Kimberly said, there's lots of words, and then I'll show you the pictures, okay? All right. Mimi's parents dressed as clowns, and they had wanted Mimi to be a little clown too. But Mimi had her heart set on being a beautiful princess. Her mother had carefully sewn a princess costume. Mother pulled the dress over Mimi's head and helped her button it up. Mimi jumped up with delight. Mommy, it's so pretty. I feel like a real princess. The ruffly blue skirt was trimmed with delicate lace, and she wore a jeweled crown that twinkled like stars. Mother brushed pink color on Mimi's cheeks and dabbed a little lipstick on her lips. Mimi's eyes glistened and her cheeks glowed, and she felt as sparkly as her crown. She's got her blue dress and her sparkly crown. Okay, got a couple more pages. Mimi smiled as she got into the car. She had never seen a clown drive before, and when they turned onto St. Charles Avenue, she noticed a family of gorillas step into the streetcar. Mimi knew that it would be a funny time. Daddy, are gorillas on the trolley in San Francisco where Aunt Boo and Uncle Tucker live? Are they going to a Mardi Gras parade too? No, honey, Mardi Gras is celebrated only in a few places. You see, the French people who settled here brought the tradition of Mardi Gras with them. And in New Orleans, we continue this custom every year. We're very lucky to live here, aren't we? Mimi exclaimed. It's going to be a fun, silly day for everybody. The traffic got heavier and the car slowed to a crawl. Daddy, we'll be late for the parades. Our car is hardly moving at all. You're right, Mimi, but I know a special route. We'll be there in a blink of an eye. Okay, this page is really fun. You see they've got their masks and funny costumes, and here's the gorillas Mimi was talking about. See how everybody's dressed up? All the face paint and the hats and the fun costumes. Kind of like Halloween, but more bright and colored and more grown-ups dress up. Okay, so now we're gonna go and we're gonna make our mask.
And hello, Annalise and Aiden, and hello, Mateo and Russell.
Yes, hello, everybody. Hello. Okay, so in your kit, you got a mask, a little baggie of gems and confetti, a baggie of feathers. Okay, now there's no rhyme or reason to this. You can decorate your mask however you want. And as far as glue goes, grown-ups, it kind of depends on what you have on hand. If you have a hot glue gun and you want to help your little ones put the sparkles and the feathers and stuff on with the glue gun, that will work. It'll just, you'll have to help them. If you want to use regular glue, that's fine too. That will just have to dry for a long time. So just keep that in mind. I ended up using these fancy dandy glue dots. So they're like little dots of sticky glue. Okay, that's what I decided to use on mine. So I went ahead and kind of started my mask. I have some feathers and some jewels. I'm going to go ahead and add the other side so you guys can see what it looks like when it's done. Okay. So I'm going to take my feathers and take my glue dots. I like these so much, I'm going to use them lots. I'm going to put my feathers down. Okay, so I've got my feathers up. I'm going to add a couple more jewels and then I'll show you, okay? Let's see. The nice thing about the jewels is they do have sticky backs. I'm going to add one more and then I'll show you, put my mask on and show you what it looks like. All right, here we go. We definitely want to see pictures of all of you in your Mardi Gras masks. Thank you so much, guys. Have a fun time. Okay, Miss Kimberly's going to come and talk to us about some more fun things about Mardi Gras.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to read the next section of our book. And again, lots of words, so I'm going to read and then I'll show you these beautiful pictures. So Father turned off at the next street. Pressing her nose against the car window, Mimi stared at the people with painted faces and funny clothes. Then she saw a group of men dance by, shuffling and twirling like giant birds. Tiny beads and fancy designs decorated their costumes, and pink, purple, blue, and yellow feathers waved from their headdresses and trailed down their backs. They flapped their arms like wings, and Mimi said, "Daddy, look at those big birds. I think they flapped their wings enough they could fly away." "Those aren't birds, Mimi. That's a group of Mardi Gras Indians. Different groups of black men form tribes and give them names like White Cloud Hunters, Wild Magnolias, Creole Wild West, and Yellow Pocahontas. It's a very old tradition, maybe 200 years old. The men work on it work an entire year on their costumes. Can you imagine spending an entire year on your Halloween costume? That's what they do. They are so cool. Carefully sewing on the beads and feathers in their own designs. On Mardi Gras, they dance in the streets and they meet up with other tribes. When the day is over, they cut off and save all the beads and feathers and start planning their costume for next year. So I want to show you a picture of this so that you can see that beautiful picture of that bird Indian costume. Isn't that amazing? You can totally see why it took them a year to get that all ready. All right, now we're going to talk about another parade. It's the Zulu parade. So Zulu is an African-American group that has been around for more than 75 years. Early in the morning, the king arrives by barge on the Mississippi River and joins his crew for the first parade on Mardi Gras Day. One year, Louis Armstrong, a famous jazz musician who played the trumpet, was the king. So I'm going to show you, this is a picture of the Zulu king. Isn't he so cool looking? I know, can you imagine going to these parades and actually seeing these wonderful things? And one more thing that's special about the Zulu parade are the coconuts. So when the floats moved down the avenue one after another, Zulu members dressed like African tribesmen in grass skirts and leopard skins, and their faces were painted black with white circles painted around their mouths and one eye. To the outstretched arms below, they threw trinkets and beads and passed out strange golden balls decorated with a sparkling Z. Coconut, coconut, someone yelled, and the crowd took up the cry and chanted in unison, coconut, coconut. Everyone screamed as they waved their arms wildly and jumped for this prized favor. Mimi reached too, but she was too far away to get a coconut. A Zulu cup bounced off her fingers, but her mother grabbed it as it rolled to the ground. All right, so we are going to talk about the floats. So I'm going to come around here and grab my bucket. So I know that you all ate your king cakes already. Because I'm pretty sure you all ate your king cakes. And I know a few of you got to your masks a little early because you were super excited about them. But I bet you were all going, why on earth did Miss Kimberly give us black paper? Well, I'm going to show you because we want you guys to make a float. So you're going to have to provide your own box. So here's my box here. And then you're going to use the paper to give it kind of a base. And there's kind of a sparkly side, kind of a not so sparkly side. So I'm going to wrap this just like I would a Christmas present. Which is funny because if you know Miss Kimberly at all, she does not wrap her Christmas presents. So we'll see how well this goes. But I'm going to wrap this on here so that I have this nice base to work with. Check it in here. Redone my tape. Is my brother watching? One more side. And then I have a nice, beautiful box that is ready for me to decorate like my float. Okay? So we're going to go with this side. Now, so you guys didn't have to sit here and watch me cut all of this out. I pre-cut out some things. So I have a really cool mask that I cut out of the foam. So if you weren't sure what to do with the foam either, now you can do something like this. So you've got that. I'm going to tape it on. You could glue it on if you wanted it to stick a little better. I am going to stick this one right here on the back of my float. Now this one is a fleur-de-lis, and this is an important symbol, and I'm going to let Miss Vicki talk a little bit about the symbolism of that. But I decided to put that one right here on the side where you all can see it. And then this is a jester, and this is in one of your coloring pages, so if you want to grab your jester out of there, I colored him and then put him on some of my foam. I'm going to put him right on the front. You see how we have these big, beautiful faces on these floats? He's not quite as big and beautiful, but he is still pretty cool. All right. And then just to give it a little more decoration, I have a little mask here that I'm going to stick right here. So with your feathers, your extra extra confetti, all of that kind of stuff. You guys can add even more to it. Now, I decided to add a second layer to mine, so I already did it. I added some more masks and some cool stuff. I'm gonna stick it on here. Now, there is a king that goes on some of these floats. My king is Tigger. So Tigger's gonna sit up there, and do you wanna see who his page is? Eeyore! So Eeyore is gonna sit on there, and then I'm just gonna pull out of here very quickly some of my very cool confetti, and we are going to sparkle our float. So you could tape or glue those on there as well if you wanted to, but I'm just gonna sparkle mine. All right, so this is my float, and this is the craft that we sent home with you guys. But this is nothing compared to what a real float looks like. So we are going to invite Miss Vicky to come out. And she made this beautiful float for us.
Hey everyone.
And so Miss Vicky has actually been on one of these crews. And so she's going to tell us a little bit more about making a float and being part of the Mardi Gras celebration and the Mardi Gras parades. So Miss Vicky.
Welcome everybody. I am so excited to be here, and thank you to everybody here in Children's at the library for putting on this great program, because this is very much like what people do when they're actually getting ready for their Mardi Gras. And Mardi Gras can take place in any place. Like this year, a lot of people didn't travel back home to New Orleans, and so what you're doing at home is what I did at home. And what I did at home this year was I made a float that looks quite a bit like what some of the giant floats look like that roll down St. Charles Avenue that little Mimi saw in the book that Miss Kimberly and everybody here was reading. This particular type of style is a style that the Mid-City crew actually makes their floats out of, like foil and all kinds of things. And I have a king and a page here as well. The pages always throw the doubloons, and doubloons are something that I like very, very much because they make a very special sound when they hit the ground. I'm going to do that just. So when you hear that, you know that the doubloons are waiting for you to pick up. So here's our float. The crew that I rode on for 15 years was Zulu. This is an example of a suit that we wear, and we have our wigs, we have our faces painted, and here we have what some of the Zulu throws might look like, some of the things that come off the float. So.
Great, thank you, Vicki. Okay, we're gonna read one more section of our book, so we can talk about something else that came in your bag. All right, so many more floats passed, and each one seemed more beautiful than the last. There were floats of dragons, flowers, elves, and alligators. The people shouted, "Throw me something, mister!" And the masters of the floats threw beads, trinkets, and gold coins called doubloons. Mimi caught some beads, but her parents caught many more. They put the necklaces over her head until she couldn't fit another. And although the beads were pretty and fun to catch, Mimi really wanted a golden doubloon, more than anything else in the world. For every float, she raised her hands high, trying to catch one, but she never could. When the last float rolled by, Mimi had an idea. She lifted the crown from her head and held it upside down like a giant cup. She made a wish and with all her might called out, "Throw me something, mister!" Just then, one of the maskers threw out a shower of golden coins. Mimi heard a kerplunk. Oh, that was the sound that Miss Vicky demonstrated for us. In the middle of her crown was what she had wished for, a shiny doubloon. She carefully took it out and hid it in her pocket. So here's our sweet picture of Mimi catching all of her throws. So the other thing that you all got in your, I'm gonna, is this a coconut? Is it the coconut? Okay, we'll come back to that, but just so you know, so you guys got these cool cups, and we chose these for a particular reason, but this is sometimes what people will put their throws in. But if you look on here, there's a little ladder, and Miss Vicky told me that sometimes the kids will climb up the ladder so that they're taller so they can get that stuff. Because you guys know if you go to a parade and you're too low, you don't get anything, it all goes over your head, right? So inside of your cup, you're gonna find some beautiful you'll see in here are some doubloons. Now these are not real ones, these are plastic ones. They're not gonna make that cool sound that Miss Vicky's did. But that's so you can have those special prizes from Mardi Gras. All right, Miss Vicky, would you like to show us some of the stuff that you have gotten from the parades in the past?
Sure. So there is so much stuff that y'all can get at a parade, and it's so exciting because we usually think of beads. There's lots of beads. But each one of these many, many crews that Ms. Kimberly mentioned, these hundreds and hundreds of floats, often have their own theme. And so for this parade, Bacchus, they light up hatchets because they did a cowboy and Indian sort of theme. And some of the parades will throw princess crowns. And I'm telling you, this is like, you can get this kind of stuff in about 5 minutes. And they throw stuffed animals. And this one comes from the Morpheus Parade, and that has that theme on it. And we have the umbrella, which sometimes, once you get an umbrella, you can hold the umbrella the way Mimi held her crown, and you can catch things in the umbrella. And then we have what they often call, the most prized throw of Mardi Gras, which is a Zulu coconut. And they're decorated by all the individuals that ride on the floats, and every one of them is different. So the golden coconut is one that you'll see. You'll see ones that are black, you'll see ones that are blue, they'll have glitter, they'll have faces with hats, all kinds of different things. So those are just a few of the things. And Mortimer, who's our king, this is his throw for this year. So if you were to see Mortimer's float go by on St. Charles Avenue, what you would catch from Mortimer and nobody else in all of Carnival would be his fleur-de-lis, which is a symbol that comes from France. So that's what the fleur-de-lis is.
Perfect. And Mortimer came and visited the library on Tuesday, which was our actual Mardi Gras day, and he threw those out to everybody on the staff. So Miss Kimberly got one, Miss Rosalie got one, Miss Suzanne got one, Miss Corinne got one. So we were very excited to get Mortimer's very special throw for this year. So we have one more thing that is in your kits, and that is a kazoo. Now, I don't know how to play a kazoo, Miss Vicky.
Well, I bet you can learn.
I think I can too.
You guys all have your kazoos, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what you do, if you haven't already been trying and practicing, is you put it in your mouth, and what do you think you do first?
Do I just blow?
That doesn't make a sound.
It doesn't make it.
So what you have to do is you have to make your voice box rumble. You have to use your voice.
I did it, Miss Vicky!
You did, and you did a very good job. But do you think maybe you can do a little song, maybe Twinkle Twinkle Little Star,
Let
or
me see.
something? A little more voice box.
I was doing it earlier. Why can't I do it, Miss Vicky? I just did
You're
it.
doing pretty good. I can hear the little paper inside the white. Very good. Very good. It's
Anyway,
not quite
close
round.
enough. Yes. But you all keep practicing, Miss Kimberly. Keep practicing.
Okay, and there's a great song called Big Chief, so you all can look it up on YouTube or iTunes or somewhere, and it's a good song to practice because they use the kazoo in the song Big Chief. So that's a fun thing to use a kazoo for.
Thank you, Miss Vicky, for coming and sharing. And Miss Vicky helped us put all of this together because we didn't know a lot about Mardi Gras because we just don't live in a place where it's really celebrated as heavily as New Orleans. So for Miss Vicky to come in and tell us all about this, it was so exciting. We had so much fun, and I hope that you guys have a good time with it as well. Miss Vicky mentioned YouTube. We do actually have a playlist on the Englewood YouTube channel right now that is Mardi Gras, and it's got a couple of videos that tell you a little bit more about Mardi Gras. It's also got some of the music because that is another really big part of Mardi Gras is the music. So We will link to that when this gets posted so that you can go and check that out. But I hope you guys all had a really great time with this. And as Miss Suzanne said, we definitely want to see pictures of those masks and those floats and everything that you do with this to show us how excited you were about it. Because I know you already ate the cupcakes, so I'm not expecting any pictures of cupcakes, but that's okay. All right, I'm going to bring all my friends back on, and we're going to turn our Mardi Gras Mambo back on, and we're just going to dance a little bit and say goodbye. All right, Miss Corinne.
They shouted, cheer for the Zulu King, truck on down.